What's up guys, it's Tyler here, and 2024 is going to be out of control for contractors. Just consider that in the last 3 years, stock prices were at an all-time high, house prices were also at an all-time high, interest rates were at an all-time low, and people were even stuck at home so they had to spend the money that Uncle Sam gave them on their home improvement projects. Well, that is coming to a halt and a turnaround in 2024. The demand for home improvement contractors was so high that it did not matter how good or how bad you were, most likely over the last 3 years, you were still busy. Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but tides are definitely changing. There's a lot happening economically and in the United States right now, and it's not looking like this is going to continue into 2024. With all of that being said though, this is going to be my exact marketing plan of what I'm going to do in 2024, so you can copy it yourself too, how I'm going to be changing up my sales strategy to, I guess, accommodate for a lower amount of leads. And at the end of the day, what can you actually do to make sure that you could still get rich and thrive in 2024, even in a bad economy? But first, before we go on, make sure that you hit a like on this video and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be diving in way more in depth to all of these topics throughout 2024. So that's step number one. All right, so before we get into everything, let's start out with a very quick overview of what makes this year so different. And in number one, we have interest rates. Interest rates are still at basically an all-time high, at least in the last 5 to 10 years, since most of us, if you're probably watching my YouTube channel, you haven't been in business for 20 plus years, and it's the highest that we have seen. And how does that actually affect you? The biggest way that it affects you and us as contractors is people don't just have tons, like tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash sitting in their bank account ready to give to me and you to work on their house. And so what happens is when interest is low, people will feel a little bit safer about pulling out a loan, whether it's like a home equity loan, whether it's a loan just in general. Really all types of financing are a lot easier to get in a low interest economy, and we no longer have that. All right, and just for demonstration purposes, I'm actually gonna pull out my phone right now and do a quick calculation just to show the power of interest rates. So let's just say, for instance, if you're a home improvement contractor, I'm concrete, and you wanna sell a driveway. And for the customer, that's 15 grand, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and put a $15,000 loan at 10 years, and before, interest rates were about 3%. That's only $144 a month. Now, a lot of my clients are getting quoted home improvement loans at $223 a month. That's almost a doubling of their monthly payment just because interest rates are higher. And not only that, but people feel more scared to spend and invest and all of that when they know the interest rates are high. Before, they really felt like they were getting free money, so everyone was pulling money out and they wanted to spend it on their home. But times are changing, and that is what is making 2024 different. Even with the interest rates coming down a little bit in 2024, that is still not a great scenario for us as home improvement contractors. Number two is demand was a lot higher than normal. In COVID, people were forced to stay home. They were also being given money from Uncle Sam in the form of literal money getting put into their bank accounts and lower interest rates. And because of that, it created a demand frenzy. And everyone wanted to improve their house. They wanted to do things like driveways and patios and kitchens and bathroom remodels, and you name it. People had money, they wanted to spend it, and demand was way higher than what it normally is. But what makes 2024 different is we have gotten through the demand, and even big corporations like Lowe's and Home Depot, they're starting to feel the effects because people aren't needing to buy as much stuff for their houses. Right? So the last 3 years were really good, and we got to rake in the money, rake in all this demand. But now that people have already done their home improvement projects, to be honest, it's a little over past what people would have normally done. And so now we're going to feel the effects of the over high demand from the last 3 years. How else has this affected us is it doesn't matter how good you were at business really over the past couple years. You could have been a meth addict, had yellow teeth, your teeth could have been falling out, you could have not shaved in freaking years and looked just like a crazy person, but there was so much demand in the marketplace that a customer really had to decide, okay, either I'm gonna have to wait until next year to do my project with someone reputable because everyone was really booked out, or I could go with this guy who looks kind of fishy, but he says that he can do it and I really don't wanna wait. People were very impatient last year. And it didn't matter how good you were at selling, at marketing, or anything like that. A lot of the best companies out there, they got booked up. And so people had no choice but to go with the people who weren't really that good. All right, number three is buyer psychology. And people spend money when they feel good about the economy, about their finances, and about all that. So think about over the past 3 years, their house prices were going up. They were making money in the stock market. Interest rates were going down. And really, no matter which way they turned, they felt like they had money. People don't spend money when they have money. They spend money when they feel good about, I guess, having good, prosperous times in the future. For instance, if you take a customer and they have $100,000 in the bank, it doesn't matter that they have the money in the bank. In good times, they're gonna feel a little bit more loose to spend it. They say, oh yeah, I could afford, 15 grand for a bathroom remodel, or I'm gonna spend $50,000 on a house renovation project because I'm gonna be able to make more money in the future. But when all these crazy things are coming up in the world, like an election year, and we have wars and AI robots that are gonna take over and kill the world, people start to get a little bit nervous. And that nervousness, even if they have money in their wallets, they're gonna be a lot more hesitant to open up their wallet and give me new money. All right, but we are not a doom and gloom channel here. Let's not focus on all the bad things and all the things that we can't control, and let's focus on the things that we can control to get rich in 2024 despite having a bad economy looking ahead. Number one is marketing. And I bet people get really tired of me talking about that all the time, but for real, looking into the future, this is gonna be more important than ever. And when I was really thinking about this, when I was preparing for this video, it made me think, at the very height of the busy season last year, my company was booked out 3 months, and most of my best competitors at marketing were also booked out 3 months. And I cannot tell you how many times people would call me, or they'd call my best marketing competitors, and they would say, man, I don't really wanna wait 3 months. I don't wanna wait 6 months. I don't wanna wait 9 months for you to do my project, and so I'm gonna find someone else. So my marketing was working. I had so many leads, it was ridiculous. But then what I realized is those people, they'd hang up the phone with me or some of my other competitors, the people that were good at marketing, the people who would generate the first call, and then they would hang up, they would scroll down the list on Google, or they'd call their friends and they'd say, man, do you know any not very well-known people that can still do this? Because people are instant gratification people. They don't like to wait, okay? But why this matters is, let's just say in 2024, demand falls by 30%, right? Not the end of the world. There's still projects being done, all that stuff. The crazy thing is though, my company and other companies who really focus on marketing and what they did in the past are still gonna get that first call. But here's the thing, is if they actually have time to take on that project and people don't have to go to the smaller companies, if you are one of the companies that relies on word of mouth and just by pure happenstance, people happen to find you, that is not going to work moving forward. So I kind of want to relay this kind of like a wolf pack, right? When a wolf pack goes out and they get a kill, who eats first? The alpha eats first. And then everyone else in line eats after that, right? And so your goal in 2024 is to be the alpha company. And what does that mean to be the alpha company? It means the companies that people call first. And how do you do that? You do that through marketing. When people think about doom and gloom, they think about recession, they think about all the bad things, what do people have a tendency to do? They want to lower their marketing budget. That is absolutely not the time to be doing that, because the trickle-down effect, you will be at the last of the feeding line and not everyone is going to eat in 2024. So if you want to eat, you got to make sure that you're at the top of the list, and that comes from things like Google ads, Facebook ads, proper website, good reviews, you name it. We're going to dive way more in depth. But that's one of the very first things that you need to be focusing on if you want 2024 to be a good year. Number two is sales. And in the past, I talked a lot about my pre-qualification process that I had with leads. And I personally am gonna take a big halt on doing what I was doing in the past. Really, in the past, I would get a phone call and then I would make them wait and schedule an appointment with my salesman, and we'd go through a big pre-qualification process, which we're still going to do, but I purposely made it hard on my leads last year and really 2022, 2021, 2020, etc. I made it hard for my leads all of those years because I had a plethora. I would get like 250 leads a month and I couldn't take on 250 jobs a month. So I was like, well, I'm gonna weed it out and only select the best customers. That was the liberty that I had from proper marketing. But in the future, the roles will be reversed. It won't be us as contractors that hold the power and we get to hold our customers' feet to the fire, making them cave and do business the way that we want to do business. And so I'm completely gonna redo my sales strategy, at least not completely redo it, but I am going to fine tune it, which I'll tell you now. So when we get a lead, I'm still going to immediately text and email a client, like immediately. Like say, for instance, if someone fills out a form on my website, within 5 minutes, they're gonna have a text and an email asking them to book a time with my salesperson. One of the big things that I'm going to change is instead of making people wait to book out 1-2 days in advance, I'm going to make sure that I hire extra people to bring them on board so we are ready for our customers to talk to them when they're ready to talk to us. One big part of sales is just straight up being available. If you're always busy and don't have time to talk to people, that is not going to help your sales. That is going to kill your sales. So the biggest change that I'm going to have is speed. I'm going to reach out to my leads faster. I'm going to talk to them faster. I do not want them to hang up the phone with me or not be able to get in touch with me and be able to call my competitors. I want to take them out of the market as quickly as possible and get them a solution that they can move forward with before they change their mind, before they talk to other people. Speed is going to be the name of the game going into 2024. Also, I should say too, if I email and text them and they don't book a time with my salesperson right away, you better bet your ass I'm still going to be calling them within 10 minutes because I want to have people book an appointment, but if they don't, I want to call because more than anything, I want to over communicate this year and not under communicate. And with all that being said, that is actually why I want to thank today's sponsor, which is actually me. I want to sponsor my own video because I want to share with you a really exciting program that I have coming up in 2024, and it's actually a partnership program. And so let me take you a little bit of a backstory. The whole reason that made me even think about this is I was like, man, in order for me to not only get more leads this year, but then also develop a bigger team so I can reach out to people faster because speed is going to be everything, I'm going to be hiring out and building an internal sales team to make sure I'm always ready to take calls from customers. So what I'm going to offer very limited amount of people is I will basically be able to guarantee get you work. My team will come in, we're gonna do all of your marketing on our dollar. We're also gonna do our sales process that is basically tuned into your market, your pricing, all that. So we're gonna be able to get you the lead, follow up with the lead immediately, and do a sales call all for you, no risk. You only pay us when the job is sold, it's booked, and you complete it. So it's a pay for performance. If I don't generate sales for you, then you don't pay me. Okay, so it's a good way for me to put my money where my mouth is and help some of the people that are subscribers here on this YouTube channel totally risk-free. Not everyone's gonna get it. I'm not gonna be able to take on a ton of clients this year, probably only about 5 to 10. If you're interested, you can check the link down below in the description to learn more. All right, and the number 3 thing that you can make sure that you're gonna thrive in 2024 is relationships. So think about this. If Google is doing bad, there's not very much search volume. If Facebook is doing bad, people they're not interested in getting quotes. What are one of the things that no matter what happens, people will not be able to take away from you, and that's relationships. So for me in 2024, what I'm gonna focus a lot more on is getting even more out into the market and just going in old school way, face-to-face, shaking hands with people, introducing them to me, my brand, and asking them if there's anything that I can help with, okay? So a lot of people, when we're slow this year, they're gonna have a tendency to sit around and wait for the phone to ring, and you can absolutely not do that. Use that time to get out there, go meet people that already sell work that you provide. For instance, I do concrete. So who do I call? I call pool builders. I say, hey, just so you know, like I own a concrete company. We do amazing pool decks. I will make your customers absolutely love you because you referred them to me. Here's all my reviews. This is the type of work we do. Here's some pictures. And I want the pool builder to be like, oh my God, like if I refer Tyler, I am going to look good for my company, right? So you got to start thinking about all the other type of people who are already going to be out hustling, trying to generate work because they want to keep their own business going, and you want to attach onto them, kind of like think of a train going by, and you're going to jump on and grab on and hold on and then get along for the ride. You need to find as many trains that are already moving as possible, build a relationship, jump on them, and then take care of those relationships. And relationships go beyond even other customers. You need to pick up the phone. You have to call your old clients, just check in, say, hey, it's Tyler. I just wanted to call. How are things doing? Do you need anything else? Is there anything that I can help you with? Etc. And you would be shocked how often you call people and they kind of forgot about the whole entire process, but because you call them, they say, you know what, I am kind of interested to get a quote on a hot tub pad this year. Or, hey, I was just talking to my friend Susie at work the other day, and she actually has a driveway. I should totally get you guys connected. So again, relationships are something that no one can take away this year. This costs nothing to pick this up, literally dial your old clients, build that relationship, and generate work using that totally free. All right, number 4 is just to get better. And what do I mean by that? In the past years, we were so busy, people could get lazy. They say, you know what, I'm already doing good enough. I don't have to be great at marketing. I don't have to be great at sales. I don't have to do my numbers. I don't have to do anything. I can just coast by and I'm gonna have work. I'm gonna be okay. But in the future, only the strong will survive. So this is the time to start focusing on everything that you know that you should have been doing in the previous years, but you didn't make the time for it because you didn't necessarily have to, right? And complacency is a huge killer. Complacency was caused in the last 3 years because it was easy for all of us. But now that it's not going to be easy, you really have to use this time to get to know your numbers better, get to know your business better, dive in on your KPIs, build up your team, train them. And if you make your business better, even if the market shrinks, if you grow by 30%, you could still stay the same exact size just by getting better at what you're already doing. So basically the 2024 blueprint for success: focus on marketing, focus on sales, focus on building those relationships, and do all the things that you should have been doing in the past that you didn't do because you didn't have to. If you do all of those things, then you're actually gonna be able to take advantage and gain market share from your competitors who are not doing those things. So that way, when the economy does get better and we're out of the recession, instead of owning, say, 3% of the market, you can own 10% of the market. And then imagine when the market goes back up to normal, you're gonna skyrocket up. So that's the name of the game. They always say that the rich get rich during the bad times, and this is exactly how they do it. So I hope all this helped you. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.